This show is definitely thumbs up worthy. Grab your favorite bag of chips as you slide into that favorite spot. You're going to flip over this one, and we promise to show you all the outs. Sports Night is next.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Sports Night. I'm Joe Young.
And I'm Howie Shapiro, and section playoffs are going. Some are just starting, and it's an exciting time of spring sports.
Yeah, it is definitely tournament time for everybody, and we're going to jam it into a short show because we only have a limited amount of highlights. We're hoping to get to as many games as we can in the next week. Baseball team, a couple of games to wrap up the regular season last week. They were playing against Osseo on Wednesday. They beat the Orioles 11-7. An up and down week for the Cardinals. They had 13 hits in the win over Osseo. Jackson Bates went 3 for 4. Nick Lockett 2 for 5. RBIs, runs all over the place, all up and down the lineup. Everybody getting into the action against the Orioles. Then on Thursday, they started a game against Shakopee, but I think it lasted less than an inning before it was rained out. And so on Friday, they finished the regular season schedule with a loss to Totino Grayson, just 3 hits for the entire Cardinal team. Bryce Peterson ends up getting charged with the loss, giving up just 1 hit and 1 run in 2 2/3 innings, but the Cardinals blanked with just 3 hits in the game.
Kind of been the story of their season, a little inconsistency. You know, as you saw, one game you get 13 hits, score 11 runs. Next game, three hits, no runs. And something that they have to correct very quickly because section starts in a day.
Yeah, double elimination tournament, of course. The Cardinals did finish strong enough to get a home game to start. They're the number 4 seed. They will host Andover. The winner will presumably take on Blaine in the second round. Anoka, the number 3 seed, gets St. Francis. First time up, Forest Lake will host Duluth East. Game 1 on Wednesday, second round on Thursday, and then it continues on Saturday. And we will see what we can do about being there.
We hope to be there at some point during the section playoffs. We're just not sure exactly how it's going to all kind of shake out.
As often as we can be. Softball team started the tournament this past week, and they too had a home section game because they had one of their best seasons in memory. The Cardinals, the number 3 seed, blew past the St. Francis Saints, the number 6 seed, with a 6-0 win. Elijah Johnson 2 for 3 with a double, an RBI, and a run scored. Cam Schmelzer went 2 for 4 with a double. 2 stolen bases, also scored a run. Abby Graham also 2 for 4 on the day. Sam Lom went the distance, pitched a 4-hit shutout to get the Cardinals into the second round with the win.
Yeah, and obviously it's a good win. It's 6-0 win. I know Coach Nienaber said some people thought we should have scored more runs than we did, but they got off to a quick 4-0 lead and really just held it and added a couple of runs. They didn't need it.
Yeah, the win meant the Cardinals were one of 4 undefeated teams remaining in the double elimination tournament. They were at Sand Creek on Saturday for a tournament doubleheader, starting with a matchup against second seed Anoka. Tornadoes were 16-4 coming into the game and had beaten the Cards 8-4 in their lone meeting this season. Both teams had shut out victories in their first round and were hoping to keep that momentum going against a tough rival. Tornadoes break the silence in the bottom of the second inning. Lexi Tonsager gets a hold of the 2-2 pitch, gives it a ride. Solo shot to left center, starts to score and gets the momentum behind the higher-seeded Tornadoes. Anoka adds to the lead in the fourth. 2 on for Kelsey Jindra. She goes down and digs this one out, sneaking it down the third base line. Jenna King will round and score from second. That gives Anoka a little cushion at 2-0. More insurance in the fifth. Rena Schlenker gets it off the end of the bat, but gets plenty of it. A 2-run shot to left. That makes it 4-0 lead, and that's more than enough for the Tornadoes. Pitcher Peyton Zach was outstanding in the game for Anoka. She had a no-hitter going until 2 outs in the 7th. Gave up that 1 hit, but then finished with a strikeout. 1 hit and only 2 base runners allowed in the game. Cardinals fall by a 4-0 final.
Yeah, they really could not get anything going. And Peyton Zach, boy, you talked about it. She was explosive in that game and really pretty much untouchable for the most part. And it propelled them to the next round.
Yeah, even though we're a little biased, You don't get to see a no-hitter too often, so
No.
I was kind of actually hoping for her once we got to 2 outs in the seventh that we would be able to see a no-hitter. But for the Cardinals' sake, they love to break it up. Didn't want to be no-hit.
No, and I don't
either
blame
way, it knocked him down a bit.
Well, after a brief rest, the Cardinals back to work and knowing now it's do or die. Their opponent had survived one elimination game. The Andover Huskies started their day with a 12-1 blowout over Cambridge Isani and came into the game with a lot of confidence. But the Cardinals had confidence too. They hammered the Huskies 17-9 earlier in the year, looked to do it again to keep their season alive. Cards get a little offense early with a 2-out rally in the first. Elia Johnson with a solid single to left. Abby Graham was off with the contact. She'll come home to score easily, get Coon Rapids the early lead. It's the only run in the game until the 6th inning. 2 outs and a runner at first for Andover. Morgan Strombeck smacks this one into the gap in left center. Mia Hermanson turns on the Jets, circles the bases to score and even the game at 1 on Strombeck's double. Very next pitch coming up here. Tasha Heifert with a high fly to center. Sam Lom loses it in the sun. It's off her glove and her face. Heifert and Strombeck change places on the air, and Andover takes a 2-1 lead midway through the 6th inning. Now the Cardinals come right back. 2 in scoring position. Cam Schmelzer grounds to third. They try to stop the lead runner, but Abby Carl slides in safely as the ball skips away, and it's tied at 2. Sam Lom up next. She grounds it back to the pitcher. Heifert looks to the runner back, then gets the out at first. Emma Heeman not staying at third. She beats the throw to the plate to put the Cardinals back in front. Sam Lom took the loss in the Anoka game, but she comes in to get the save against Andover. She pitches a perfect 7th, getting the strikeout to end the game and move the Cardinals on to the next round. And obviously, it was a game they needed and a game that they held on. Looked like they were going to take that 1-0 lead into the later innings, and then unfortunately gave it up down 2-1, but able to come back.
Well, and the impressive part about the comeback, really, I thought, was Emma Heeman.
Yep.
She comes in, she's asked to drop down a sacrifice, instead beats it out for a bunt single, and then great heads-up base running. The pitcher looked at her, made her stop, but didn't get her to move back towards third base. And as soon as she turned to throw to first, she went home with what turned out to be the winning run.
Yeah, very heads-up play.
So the softball team continuing in action this afternoon, taking on the Blaine Bengals. And at last report, not going in the Cardinals' favor early on in that one out in St. Francis. But they're at a point now where they have to win 4 more straight if they hope to advance past the section tournament. Blaine awaiting the winner, or Anoka rather, awaiting the winner of Coon Rapids and Blaine this afternoon. The tennis team wrapped up the season last week with a loss to top-seeded Elk River in the quarterfinals. Track team had the Northwest Suburban Conference Championships last week, and each team, boys and girls, able to bring home a champion. Galen Tomboy has been holding off. He's been sloughing a little bit up until this time. He comes out and gets takes the title in the long jump with a distance of 22 feet, 11.34. 11 3/4 of a foot or inch. Galen Tomboy also 4th place in the triple jump. Ricky Soto got on the podium for the discus, as did Spencer Hoyam for the 110 hurdles. Hoyam was also 7th place in the 300-meter hurdles, and Smith was 7th place in the pole vault with it going up and over at 11 foot 6 inches. Cardinals finished 11th. Both boys and girls. Brielle Clark, not a huge surprise to see her getting 1st place in the 100-meter dash, and then a season best time in the 200-meter dash also gets her all-conference honors with a 3rd place finish. Kamika Hurdle was 2nd place in the pole vault. Excuse me. Hannah Gross and Kieran were both 7th place. There were like 7 or 8 people tied for 7th place, going up and over at 8 foot 6 inches. Grace Henneman was 7th place in the 100-meter hurdles, 8th in the 300-meter hurdles. Killian was 8th place in the triple jump. The 4x800-meter team also finished in 8th place. They have the Section 5 AA championships starting Wednesday of this week. They're Wednesday, Friday. Those are over at Hamlin. State championships will be back at Hamlin a week from Friday and Saturday. Boys golf team will compete in section tournament this week.
There you go.
section championships this week, and they're hoping for some better scores than what they turned in at the conference meet. Cardinals are fortunate enough to have all the biggest meets of the year on their home course at Bunker Hills. But it didn't help them at the Northwest Suburban Conference Championships, unfortunately. They put up one of their worst team scores of the season and now hope to rebound when it matters most. The day just wasn't very kind to the home team. Everybody struggling at some point in the route. Caden Kornowski, 11 over at the turn, shot a 55 on the back nine, still finished 30 over at 102. It was an even greater struggle for Jason Klebeck. He put up a whopping 120 for the day. Definitely not how he had envisioned playing at the Northwest Suburban Tournament. Connor Wise up next. He too struggles with the mid-range putt, leaving this one just to the right, having to tap it home. He was better on the back half, but finished with a 101 on his scorecard. Up next is Matt Ammon. He was strong off the tee all day long, finishes with a good, solid stroke on this hole, and able to sink the 12-foot putt. He gets around with a 99, one of his better outings of the year. Luke Medved with a great approach shot right here. Leaves himself a very makeable putt.
That's how you do it, Jan.
Unfortunately, he needed 2 to put it home from there. Medved shoots a 45 on the front, a 47 coming home, a 92 in the tournament. Finally, Carter Heeman from about 20 feet. And he'll leave it just left of the cup. Tap it home from there. Heeman leads the Cardinals with a 90, but their 382 is 13th place and almost 20 strokes out of 12.
Speaking of strokes, I thought maybe you were having one for a minute there. You just kind of slowed down and.
It's weird what happens when I want to read what isn't
there.
The 538 tournament is this week at Bunker Hills, Wednesday and Thursday. State championships are at Bunker Hills.
At Bunker Hills.
On the 12th and 13th.
The home course.
It's the way it goes.
Well, the girls section tournament is being held at the links of Norfolk. That's easy for me to say. Tuesday and Thursday this week, and the Cardinals hope to get someone on to the next week state tournament. Last week, the Cardinals, final trip around the course at Bunker Hills for the Northwest Suburban Conference Tournament. Coach Keeney with some last-minute words of wisdom for his girls. The Cardinals have had solid numbers all year and just need to keep doing what they've been doing. Ellie Carver going with her lucky shirt for the conference tournament. It paid off. Carver shoots a team low 97. That's 25th place in the tournament and secures her spot in the all-conference list. Up next, we have Rachel Bissett. She's been consistent leader for the Cardinals all season. She's stead again in the conference tournament. Struggled a little bit on the back nine, but still posts a decent 102 for the day. All the Cardinals having a little more trouble on the back nine. But coming up, watch the approach for Anna Bezcalo. No problem at all on the chip. Rolling this one right up to the cup where she can tap it home. Bezcalo is going to finish with the tournament score of 109. Well, it's not how you drive, it's how you recover. And Natalie Whitney showing her skills right here. Long bump and run from the far side of the cart path. Whitney puts a 110 on her scorecard for the day. Puts that one home. Nicole Bissett rolling this putt home to complete the hole. She would shoot a 54 on the front and a 58 on the back. Get into the clubhouse with a 112. And finally, we have Abby Olson. May not have had the best score, but probably the best socks. A little disappointing second half. She shot a 65. Olson ends the day with a 119. Carver's going to finish 10th in the tournament with a team score of 418 overall.
Program that just keeps building, though, and that's
yes.
exciting, and that's why Keeney is always keeping his hands warm.
Yes,
538 tournament, as you mentioned, Howie, at North Fork Tuesday and Thursday this week. State championships also held at Bunker Hills on the 12th and 13th of June. The girls lacrosse team wrapped up the regular season with a game against one of the better teams in the area and even in the state, and they played strong with Maple Grove. They were only down 2 at the half, end up losing 14-10 to the Crimson. Jordan Keller led the way with 3 goals. Alyssa Brazier also a 3-point effort with a goal and 2 assists. Paige Fosslin had 2 goals, and Tom had a goal and an assist as well. 1 goal each for Anessa McCarr, Grace Hanula, and Michaela Holland. And now it is on to the section tournament for them. Their tournament starts I believe, on Thursday.
Yeah.
And the Cardinals, a low seed, will have to battle their way out. Only 3 wins on the year, but now is when it matters. And they've been right with some of the better teams. A lot of one-goal games that they've come up on the wrong end of.
As we talked about last week, Coach Swenson said that really likes what the girls have been doing, really likes the direction that they're heading, really feels that they have bought into her program. And you can see it, playing a team like Maple Grove tight like that, they are making progress, and this is the time to do it. If you're going to make hay, you might as well do it now.
Well, throw the records out the window. That's what the playoffs are for. We will have playoff action for you here on CTN over the next few weeks. Not entirely sure which or when or where, but we will definitely have it for you. But that's going to do it for this edition of Sports Night. I want to thank everybody out there for joining us, continuing to support everything we do here at CTN. For the entire crew, including Alex Shapiro, I'm Joe Young, saying good night.